Padma Madhu Lit Na Punaha Visrishta Maya Guneshu Ramate Vrichina Avaheshu Anyaha Tu Kamahataha Atma Rajaha Pramashtum Iheta Karama Yattaha Yeva Rajaha Punaha Syat Krishnangi Padma Madhulina Puna Vishrishta Anyastu Kama Hata Atma Raja Pramashtum Iheta Karma Yata Eva Raja Punasyat Krishnangri Padma Madhulina Puna Vishishta Kama Hata Atma Raja Pramashtum Iheta Karma Yata Eva Raja Punasyat Ladies, Madhulina Puna Vishishta Nangri Padma Madhulina Puna Vishishta Guneshu Ramate Vijinavaheshu Nyastu Kama Hata Atma Raja Pramashtum Iheta Kama Yata Eva Raja Punasyat Krishna Angri Padma of the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Madhu, the honey, lit, one who licks, na, not, punaha, again, visrishta, already renounced, maya guneshu, in the material modes of nature, ramate, desires to enjoy, vrijina avaheshu, which brings distress, anyaha, another, two, however, kamahataha, being enchanted by lust, atma rajaha, the sinful infection of the heart, pramashtum, to cleanse, iheta, may perform, karma, activities, yataha, after which, eva, indeed, rajaha, the sinful activity, punaha, again, syat, appears. Translation. Devotees who always lick the honey from the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa do not care at all for material activities which are performed under the three modes of material nature and which bring only misery. Indeed, devotees never give up the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa to return to material activities. Others, however, who are addicted to Vedic rituals because they have neglected the service of the Lord's lotus feet and are enchanted by lusty desires, sometimes perform acts of atonement. Nevertheless, being incompletely purified, they return to sinful activities again and again. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A devotee's duty is to chant the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra. One may sometimes chant with offenses and sometimes without offenses. But if one seriously adopts this process, he will achieve perfection, which cannot be achieved through Vedic ritualistic ceremonies of atonement. Persons who are attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies but do not believe in devotional service, who advise atonement, but do not appreciate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, fail to achieve the highest perfection. Devotees, therefore, being completely detached from material enjoyment, never give up Krishna consciousness for Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. Those who are attached to Vedic ritualistic ceremonies because of lusty desires are subjected to the tribulations of material existence again and again. Mahārāja Parīkṣit has compared their activities to kuñjara-śauca, the bathing of an elephant. Om ajnana-timirandasya jnananjana-shalakaya chakshudum militam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Nitananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First, I would like to offer my do whatever we do, become auspicious. So Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport that a devotee's duty is to chant the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra. One may sometimes chant with offenses or sometimes without offenses. But the duty is to continue chanting the Mahamantra. That's the duty of every devotee. Those who have no fitness of devotional service, like the smartas or the arthavadis, and those subject to false argumentations, they perform atonement, different types of atonement. And they do not take to the process of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Here in this verse, a very nice example is given of the bee which licks the honey from the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Now that bee is not attached to any other type of pleasure. Even if the bee is dying out of hunger, it will not take to any other source of nectar, of nourishment, only the honey. Srila Prabhupada gave another example of the chataka bird. They always remain at the rain clouds. They do not accept any other source of water, only the water coming from the rain cloud. And sometimes there's thunder or lightning, very dangerous, but the chataka bird just tolerates, remains at the rain cloud waiting for the water to come. And similarly, a devotee, whether he experiences hardship, he never returns to the so-called material blessings of material pleasure. In this verse it is stated that the mystics or the devotees of Krishna, they derive unlimited transcendental pleasure from the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is also known as Rama. Iti Rama Parinaso, Paramam Brahma Vidiyate. Similarly, the devotees, they forgotten my offenses. No. One has to approach that Vaishnava in great humbleness and beg for forgiveness. And then if that Vaishnava forgives, then one will be relieved from the reactions of offending a Vaishnava. Similarly with the holy name, the solution is not to stop chanting. And sometimes we hear this argument, I'm not chanting anymore Hare Kṛṣṇa because I commit too many offenses. The solution is not to stop chanting. It has to continue. Beg the Nam Prabhu for forgiveness for whatever offenses we might have committed, and then continue chanting. That's the only solution, that's the only process. Simply continue. This is why Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the beginning of the purport. Whether one chants with offenses or without offenses, the duty is to chant the holy name of the Lord. You just have to continue. In that 11th verse from the 11th canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam, the Sanskrit word anishvara is being used. It indicates that because of one's past sinful activities and bad habits, one may not immediately be able to completely extinguish the enjoying spirit. The Lord here encourages such a devotee to not lose hope or to become sad, which gradually begins to destroy the enthusiasm of the devotee. Now, as we know from Rupa Goswami, Upadhisamrita, that enthusiasm, utsaha, is a very, very essential part, quality of making tangible progress in devotional service. Utsaha, enthusiasm must be there. But this kind of negative, cultivating negative feelings, negative thoughts, therefore negative emotions, that will destroy, naturally will destroy enthusiasm to perform devotional service. Utsaha nishayat dharyat, Rupa Goswami explains in that verse. Being enthusiastic. Srila Bhakti Thakur describes very nicely in his Bhakti Aloka this utsaha, enthusiasm. I can just quote a little bit. He writes, without utsaha, enthusiasm, one becomes negligent in his worship. Negligence is born out of inactivity, apathy, or indifference. Laziness and inertia are called inactivity. When utsaha is generated, laziness and inertia cannot remain. The absence of desire to work is inertia. This inertia is opposite to the nature of spirit. The spirit, the soul is always active. This is why even in sleep, we're active. So many activities we perform when we dream. And when we awaken again, so many activities are being, that's the nature of the soul. As soon as the soul enters matter, then that matter becomes active. That's the nature of the self. If one allows this inertia to remain in his body or heart, then how can he perform devotional service? The state of apathy develops from carelessness. One should practice devotional service without deviation. So in this way, Srila Bhakti Thakur, he leads us through so many different wonderful quotations from the Srimad-Bhagavatam, from the Bhagavad Gita, which explain that there are so many different stages of performing devotional service, which require enthusiasm and patience. This combination sometimes is not easy. To be enthusiastic and at the same time to be patient. And when we are patient, we tend to lose enthusiasm. We're just patient. When we are enthusiastic, we tend to lose patience. So how to combine both? It's not easy. But when we gradually progress in Krishna consciousness, then we will be able to always feel enthusiastic, but at the same time patient as well. Sattva guna, when the devotee becomes situated in the mode of goodness, he becomes patient. That quality of patience develops. But at the same time, he's always enthusiastic. Just like in the past, in our movement, Krishna consciousness movement, that we encountered many obstacles, but simply due to the patience of our senior devotees, so much has been accomplished. Like I was amazed when I came here for the first, I'm here for the first time in Ujjain. I expected some humble, small temple. But when I arrived, I couldn't believe it. What a project. What is the cause of this project? Of course, foremost, Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Lord Kṛṣṇa's mercy, blessings. But then also because of the patience of the senior devotees. Srila Bhakti Charu Swami, because of his patience, Otherwise such, and so many other devotees, senior devotees, because of their patience, there's such a project manifested. And similarly, if we continue with great enthusiasm, great patience, so many other projects will continue to manifest more and more. In Hungary, Shivaram Maharaj is here. Hungarian project. It's amazing. What a project. Simply due to patience. Patience and enthusiasm. There must be enthusiasm, vision. We want to accomplish a strategy. We must have visions. What do we want? That question we should always ask us. What do we want? And then we have to find the strategic points to achieve, accomplish, and at the same time, of course, always expect the mercy and blessings of the Supreme Lord. This actually brings me to one point. Reminds me of the one section of the Damodar Leela. And now we are celebrating Kartika Vrata. And we chant the Damodarashtakam prayers. And the Mother Yashoda asked her friend for another rope to bind Krishna. But that was also too short, always too short. Such a wonderful pastime of the Lord. The Mother Yashoda, she was chasing after Krishna, he was running away out of fear. Then finally she caught him. And she asked Lord Kṛṣṇa, why you are stealing the butter, yogurt? Now, I supply first class, we know such a wonderful story. I supply, why you are stealing? And Krishna, he replies in such a amusing and wonderful way. Of course, Krishna always denies. I did not steal. The one who created the monkeys, he supplies the butter, yogurt, he can do whatever he wants. And then how come that you have a yogurt, butter all over your face if you didn't steal? Oh, when the monkeys saw you coming, they became very much afraid, they ran away. And in their haste, they smeared all the butter and yogurt over my face. Oh, is it really so? And then who broke the clay pot? Who did this to? Oh, Mother, when you were running after me, then one of your big bangles, it cracked the clay pot. In this way, he always denied. And then Mother Yashoda thought, there's only one solution. I have to punish both. Lord Kṛṣṇa, my son, the butter thief, yogurt thief, I have to punish him. And the mortar also, he is also mischievous, assisting Lord Kṛṣṇa in stealing. So both I have to punish. I will tie them together. But always two fingers were missing. Then she took the silk rope or thread from her hair, trying to extend the rope, and always two fingers too short. As explained, one finger represents the sadhaka's endeavor that he tries out of his own accord, very sincerely, very earnestly. He tries, sadhaka. And the other finger represents Lord Kṛṣṇa's mercy. That's quite interesting. It is explained in the Ramanuja Sampradaya that there are two groups, the Vadakalai and the Tenkalai. The Vadakalai, their stance is that everything is based on a cause. There must be a cause. Otherwise there's no question of receiving Lord Kṛṣṇa's causeless mercy, or His mercy. There must be a cause. And their stance is compared to what they call Makata Nyaya. This is the analogy of a baby monkey. It clings, catches hold of the mother, and then the mother's moving all over the place, carrying the monkey. But the monkey has to hold tight on to the mother. And if the monkey happens to fall off, the mother will not accept again. So this is their stance. One has to endeavor very, very hard. And then success will come, the mercy of Krishna will come. Everything will happen. And the Tenkalai Ramanujas, their philosophy is based on the causeless grace. Their stance is compared to the Mahārāja Nyaya, which means the kitten and the cat. The kitten doesn't have to do anything. Mother just takes the teeth, kitten in the mouth and carries. Kitten doesn't have to do anything. So the mother cat picks the kitten, it gives full protection, and so they compare it to the grace, to the mercy of the Lord, and they feel that our own endeavors are always incomplete. They're not sufficient. We always depend on the mercy of Krishna. So the Gaudiya Vaishnava school asserts that both views are necessary. And this is why sometimes we give the example of someone drowning in the ocean or falling into a deep dark well, and then there's a person lowering a rope. So then that the person has to catch hold. That's the endeavor. That's the sadhana. It has to hold tight on the rope. That endeavor must be there. But then the causeless mercy is also there. The person is lowering the rope. So that's the blessing. That's the mercy. So this example illustrates that both must be there. The sincere endeavor, and also at the same time always expecting the mercy, causeless mercy of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada explained in the purport that the devotee's duty is to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa, and that reminds us of one verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Satatam Kitayantu Bam Yatantasha Drita Rataha. With always chanting my glories with great determination, the Drita Rata, from the importance of optimism, being optimistic. That's an integral part of enthusiasm, to be optimistic. It is explained that no matter how we might feel at the moment, or what is happening in our life, we must remain optimistic. Psychologists have determined that optimism is the most important quality one can develop for personal and professional success and happiness. So similarly also in spiritual life. In one letter, I can quote that letter, Srila Prabhupada writes in 1972, "Do not be too much worried. Forget the past, reality of Godhead. And the devotees are always optimistic for the advancement of their spiritual progress." So Srila Prabhupada writes right in that letter, unless we are optimistic, we cannot make progress in spiritual life. We must be optimistic. So just a few more quotes related to optimism. Optimists have 3 special behaviors. They all learn through practice and repetition. The first one, they look for the good in every situation. No matter what goes wrong, they always look for something good or beneficial. And not surprisingly, they always seem to find it. What a very nice point. The second, they always seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. Now, what's the lesson for me? What can I learn from it? They believe that difficulties come not to obstruct us, but to instruct us. Not to obstruct, but instruct. They believe that each setback or obstacle contains a valuable lesson one can learn and grow from, and they are determined to find it. And then third, optimists always look for the solution to every problem. Instead of blaming or complaining when things go wrong, they become action-oriented. They ask questions like, what's the solution? What can we do now? What's the next step? That's optimism. Optimists think and talk about the future and where they are going rather than the past and where they came from. Of course, we can always learn from the past. But still, an optimist, he always looks straight. I remember one example I heard when I was a young devotee. When you ride on a bicycle, you always have to look to the front. If you look back, very dangerous. You might immediately bump into a tree. Or even if you just look down at the present, also dangerous. Of course, again, it does not mean you never look back. Sometimes you have to look back. You hear some noise, something, you feel uncomfortable, you look back. Or down, look at your feet. Make sure everything you do properly. But the main attention is to the front. That's optimism. Always look to the front. Have plans, make plans, have visions. Be enthusiastic to accomplish all those plans, all these visions you might have. Optimists, they visualize their goals and ideals and talk about it in a positive way. Thus they feel more focused and energized. They feel more confident and creative. They experience a great sense of control and empowerment. And the more positive and motivated they feel, the more eager they are to get started, and the more determined they are to keep going. Optimism means to control one's thoughts. Remember, we become, most of the time, we become what we think. We have to think and talk about the things we want rather than the things we don't want. Again, of course, we have to be aware. Inspirational replies. What do we want? Any suggestions? What do we want? Always think of Krishna, never forget Him. This is what we want. What else do we want? Yes?
A set of Srila Prabhupada Bhagavatams in every house.
Yes. Srimad-Bhagavatam should be one set, right? One set of Srila Prabhupada's book should always should be in every house. This is what we want. Now, how much more devotional service work for Krishna we have to do to accomplish that? And that naturally keeps us enthusiastic, because we think about something positive. What else do we want? Yes, Maharaj.
Ujjain becomes the top book distribution yatra in the world.
Oh. Hari Hari Bol. What else do we want? Yes. This is what we want. What else do we want? I'm quite sure also from the Maharaja's side there must be a lot of lot of wants. What do we want? What do we expect? What do we desire? Yes, there's one suggestion.
We want to go back home, back to Godhead.
Oh, whoa. We want to go home, back to Godhead and rejoin Lord Krishna's transcendental family. I think this was a perfect note to end the class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Krishna
Hare Kṛṣṇa